Live.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
Look at my hair. I need a haircut. Look at me. I need a haircut. I need a ball cut. Let's see. What are we doing here? Can you hear me? Can you hear me running? Fucking do it.
Well, I don't know what this thing is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
Work there, dude.
Welcome to
DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Live.
Well,
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, we interview R&B artist Carriesa and what happens when a fisherman gets caught cheating at a weigh-in, and why do we have so many scam calls, and who is the Green Gang attacking the subways in New York City. All this and much, much more will be discussed here on Deacon Live. How are you? How are things? How are things going? Are you doing okay? I always check on you, make sure you're doing all right. Your weekly update check-in, our physical wellness check-in for everyone out there. I hope you're doing all right. I hope you're doing okay. And for those in Florida, hopefully you'll get your power back on. Thank God the weather's gotten a little cooler, so it's not as hot as it normally would be down in Florida. Now, we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. We sit on about 22 some odd acres. Well, we have horses, chickens, dogs, cats, cattle, all that stuff that makes our farm a farm or a ranch. It's part farm, part ranch. We also have a couple fields of crop that kind of took a shit this year, so that's what we have here on the property, and that's what goes on here at Deacon Live. Now, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video. You can see me in here and waving the studio. You can see all the mistakes and stuff that happen off the air, on the air, and during the podcast. So make sure you like and subscribe over at YouTube as well. And don't forget, wherever you're listening to us at, whether it be iHeart, whether it be iTunes, Spotify, any of those platforms, we're on about 25 different platforms, over 55 different countries. That is the Deacon Live show. So welcome. Like I said, I hope you're doing all right. Now, let me get into this week and what happened to Trav this week. Well, we did have the storm come through last week. We fared pretty well. We got maybe 35-mile-an-hour winds max here on the property, and that's fine because we got a lot of trees, knocks down a lot of old dead branches and stuff. Leaves everywhere, but nothing real major. And then that was Thursday by the time it came up here. Between Thursday and Friday, it made it to the Charlotte area. And my wife and I, what we like to do on Friday nights is, because we live out in the middle of nowhere, there's no real entertainment or anywhere. So my wife and I are each other's entertainment. So we like to play rummy, and we sit there and we'll have the music playing in the background. We'll sit there across the table at the dining room table, and we'll sit there and play rummy with each other and talk about and catch up and stuff. My wife works a full-time job out of the house here, which she's fortunate enough, but her day starts at 8 o'clock in the morning and doesn't end usually till 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. So I rarely get to see her other than, dinner time and then bedtime. So we enjoy our Friday nights together. As we're playing cards this past Friday night, and the storm is winding down outside, we're just kind of sitting there and talking and laughing and carrying on. And I happen to look up, or she looks up, I forget what order it happened, and she looks at the ceiling and goes, "What's that?" Now, our dining room area has these two huge 2-by-6-foot skylights in them. We have a vaulted ceiling, so it's these big, long columns that are in the air with skylights in them, which is real nice. But at the base of one of the skylights, probably about a foot off the bottom of it, is this nice, about the size of a normal footprint, a human footprint, about that size, in the ceiling of a water stain or a water spot, brand new. And I say brand new because I took my knuckle up there and touched it, and it was damp. I'm like, oh. Now, for all you listeners of the podcast, you know that last year we just had the roof replaced, completely tore everything off, reshingled all the buildings. We have a detached garage on one side, a 3-car garage, which is where we broadcast. Hold on, let me clarify this. So we have a detached 3-car garage, and above that garage is a finished apartment. And the apartment is about 800 square feet, and that's where we broadcast the studio, or where we broadcast DeaconLive out of this studio. So, like I said, you can see us here in the studio. It's completely finished. Water, AC, heat, all that stuff. It's ready to go, and it's nice up here, and it gets us away out of the main part of the building. So this building was reshingled. The main part of the house was reshingled. Everything was done, and the guy was great. The roofer guy did it. Awesome job. Walked me through every step. Not that he was a scammer. Some of those roof guys, you're like, man, is this your full-time job? Do you know what you're doing? He was great. Walked me through everything. A real nice guy. I had a little issue about 3 months ago with one of the shingles actually split. There was a defective piece of shingle. It split. Called him up. He's like, hey, no problem. I'll be out there. Give me a second. I'll be out there. And a couple days, I say a second. In roofing terms, that means a couple weeks. So within about a week and a half, he came out. He's like, sorry, it took so long. He's like, you're fine. The synthetic fabric that we actually put underneath all the shingles and stuff, you were protected. You didn't get any leaks. And he replaced a couple shingles. It was on the garage part, so no big deal. Came on here, bang, 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 was done. How you doing? Talked a little bit, shook his hand, thanks very much, went on about his day. So now here I am sitting there looking at the ceiling in our dining room at this new leak that popped up. And I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy to go, hey, bud, remember you fixed my shingle? Appreciate you doing that. You didn't have to do that. You could have pitched up a fit and stuff because he got paid because we went through the insurance company and everything. You were nice enough to do that. Just to let you know, the new roof that you put on, yeah, I've got actually not one, but 2 leaks in the same area. One's about the size of a softball or as round as a softball, and the other one's as big as my footprint would be. And so I'm like, shit. This is Friday evening. So my wife's, that's one more thing we need on the plate, right? We got so much shit going on here. That's one more thing we need to worry about is, we thought we were scot-free worrying about, not have to worry about the roof or anything. Now we got to worry about the roof, whether it's going to get fixed, whether we have to go through the red tape, and whether we have to pay any more money as far as getting the roof fixed. So took pictures. I texted him yesterday. I wanted to wait a couple days and walk through the house and make sure that we didn't have any other leaks, in the property. Now, granted, yes, it has rained since we had the new roof put on, but not a hurricane or, sideways like Bubblegum said. Sometimes it felt like it was raining from underneath and sideways and all the other stuff that he said. Somehow worked its way through, and now we've got a leak on the roof in that one spot. So I waited about 4 days, make sure the house was solid still, and I texted him. I'm like, hey, man, it's me again over on, such and such street. Showed him the pictures. I'm like going, call me when you have time, and, we can work on getting this fixed. Plain and simple answer, because he's a straightforward guy. He's like, okay, just okay. Not, F you, take it up with your insurance. I'm out of here. I got paid, blah, blah, blah. No, just, okay. And that's the way he is. Once you know the guy and you talk to him for a couple times, you go, okay, that's his response. But I didn't want to be that guy. I didn't want to be that guy that said, hey, there's a roof leak and the work that you did, I don't know if it's still guaranteed. We might be 16 months into this new roof. Even still, if it's not guaranteed or we're outside that guaranteed limit, work or labor or anything like that, what am I going to do? Call the insurance company again and say, hey, by the way, I don't want to throw these guys under the bus, but I've got a roof leak on a roof that they just fixed. And I don't want to say that. So I'm going to leave it up to him. I'll let you know what goes on, and I'll keep you up to date on that. As far as Mike, his name's Mike. I'm going to just say Mike. Mike comes out here, and he might crawl up in the attic and see like a little nail pop or something like that, and he'll just put a little putty on it and say, you're good to go. Let me know if it leaks anymore. Put some Kills stain sealant on the roof. You're going to paint this room anyways. He doesn't know that. I know that. And then we'll go from there. That's what I'm hoping. So he's a good guy. He'll crawl up in the attic and look in there. But that's where we're at. You're just like, God damn, just one more thing. And here I am, here in Charlotte area, bitching and complaining about a small leak on my roof when like I said at the beginning of the commentary here, that Florida, all my friends and family down in Florida have no power or no roofs or no walls. They've got a lake in their living room. I don't know if you've seen the one picture going around of the alligator swimming in someone's houses. A little overrated, a little extra on that. But something else that popped up is yesterday, my wife got a text. Now, For those of you who don't know, I was born and raised in Orlando, Florida. My wife was also born in the Orlando, Altamont Springs area. We lived for a long time. We have a house over in the Deltona area, which is the east side of the state, probably about 20, 30 miles from Daytona Beach, inland from Daytona Beach. And as you know, the storm Ian came across Fort Myers, cut across Orlando, Florida, and then kind of scooted out, I think, below, maybe right below Daytona Beach. Well, Deltona is in that path, but by the time it got across, maybe Category 1 hurricane winds. We've been through that before. Get a text from the property manager. You have about 35 shingles missing off your roof, and I don't know if she said multiple leaks, but roof leaks, like plural, like maybe 2, like I have in the dining room area, 2 leaks. So under my wife's breath, I heard her many times going, come on, Hurricane, I need a new roof on my house so I can sell it. Because I don't know if you know this or not, if you're trying to sell your house in Florida, and if your roof is more than, I think it's 15 years old, the person buying the house can't get homeowner's insurance on it. It's a big insurance scam. And so they say, like my dad, that's why we sold his house down there when my mom passed away. We sold it as is. You want to put a new roof on it? You want to do this? You want to do that? You got to buy it as is. If not, we would have to spend, $22,000, put a new roof on my dad's house. So my wife and I were thinking about selling the one property that we have in Deltona, but we didn't want to stick a $22,000 roof on that house. So my wife, under her breath, come on, Mama needs a new pair of roof shingles, So sure enough, this hurricane came through, and it looks like my wife is going to get her wish. Unfortunately, the people in the house that's renting it is going through this. We don't have to be down there, but they are. So it looks like Mama got what she wished for. But we'll see. We'll see what happens there. I don't want to have to be that guy to have to sit there and knock heads against the wall to get things done. But sometimes you just have to do that. All right, guys, we got a big show to get into. Lots to talk about, so stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want something for free? Of course you do. Oops, you know what I got to do? I got to do something. Hold on. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks, and the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio. Let's stop that. No. Welcome back to Deacon Live. This section is brought to you by medicinaltechnologies.com. That's medicinaltechnologies.com with their new product, Endo Oil. Helpful for organic pains, arthritis pains, muscle pains, and so much more. Check them out at medicinaltechnologies.com. Now, you want something for free? Well, of course you do, and I will give you something for free. All you have to do is go over to prophetradio.com, Prophet radio, click on the free swag section. We'll send you out some magnets, some stickers, and all that stuff. And you can be part of the show as well. Make sure you like and subscribe and share to all of our media sources, and you can be a friend and part of the show as well while you're over there. Now, I feel bad for the people that are renting our house in Deltona, which is, for lack of a better term, it's called, what is the area? Like Sanford area. That's the next big town over there. If you're looking at a map, it's Sanford, North Sanford area. And this elderly couple, we had a woman in there previously that was there for like 6 years or something like that. And, oh yeah, everything's fine. And she moved out, and some of the stuff needed fixing. She neglected a lot of stuff. We were kind of pissed. And we also put a brand new AC unit in there. $5,000. Thanks very much for that. It's Florida. You have to have it. So this elderly couple moves in. Everything's been basically totally redone. $11,000 later, new paint, new pieces of, window shades, and just the basic stuff, and a new dishwasher, I guess we bought. It's just crazy stuff. Don't own houses. Don't own property. It's a headache. But it's fine when you have someone else that's managing it. Anyways, so this older couple, I say older, probably retired couple, late 60s, are living in the house. And from my understanding, we're friends with our neighbors. And from my understanding, they're kind of quiet. They're in there. But, AC went out on them the first month they were there. So we had to get that fixed. And now they went through this hurricane. Now they've got to deal with this, getting the roof fixed. And them worrying about, stains or anything kind of damage. I don't know how much the roof actually, quote unquote, leaked. It might be small little spots here and there. But for the most part, that's on them for touching up the inside, the cosmetic stuff. We'll handle the big stuff. And so these people are older. Now, I don't know if they have grandchildren or anything like that, but there's a new trend right now that's coming out that's called Grandmates. Now, when I say grandmates, you've heard of like roommates and things like that. This is called grandmates. A year ago, Robert E. Elson began noticing curious new array of beverages in his refrigerator of the condo he shares with his wife, Ronnie. On the Upper West Side, energy drinks and different coffees were totally alien, recalled Elson. And there was all these different milks, he says. I see almond milk, and I'll go, oh my God, what the hell is this? Appearance of almond milk in his, and it's kin coincidentally precisely with the residents of whatever. All this stuff was because of his granddaughter, Madeline David, who just began graduate school at the climate school at Columbia University. She was accepted into the program, and it was good news, said Robert Elson, 82, the grandfather, a salesperson in real estate agency at Coldwell Banker Wahlberg. That's where he works. The bad news was her parents told us that Madeline was going to have a problem with room and board. So Robert said, the grandfather said, well, we're here. We have an extra room, so why don't she come stay with us? So right then and there, they became grandmates, nearly 6 decades apart in age. According to a recent survey by Credit Karma personal finance platform, nearly 1/3 of Americans ages between 18 and 25 live at home with their parents or other relatives. We're hearing more and more about the adult grandchildren living with their grandparents. Now, in some cases, the grandparents, something's happened to the parents. They're either drug addicted, gave the child up for adoption, or in jail or something like that, where grandparents have taken on the grandchildren and have adopted it or become their legal guardian for most part. But now we're hearing more and more about adult grandchildren living with their grandparents. Grandparents Grandparents are there to step in, just as many of them do when grandchildren are little, like I was talking about earlier. According to 2017, researchers said about 10% of black children who live in a so-called skip generation household at some point in their lives from the ages of birth to 18, and the number were lower between Latino, Asian, and white children. Given the pandemic, these figures may now be underestimated, as she's added, writer of this article. Once the grandchildren are older, skipped generations relationships are stronger because grandchildren and grandparents can approach each others as individuals. Grandparents, for instance, aren't seen as authority figures, and grandchildren aren't viewed by grandma and grandpa as tots needing guidance, care, and lecture. So essentially, when you're 18 to 25, you are an independent person. I'm a grandfather. I've already raised my kids. My kids are out of the house. You do what you want. I'll do what I want. And teach me how to do the damn TikTok, Madeline.
Oh, grandfather, you don't know. It's so cool. You got to do a little dance, and then you put your butt on the TikTok, and then you get famous.
Oh, that's great. Ronnie, get your ass over here. We're doing a TikTok. But essentially, they're opening up 2 new worlds. And for the most part, they really don't step on each other's toes. So there you go. If you've heard of Grandmates, it's a little bit more popular now, especially now with the way prices of housing are going, and the prices of rental properties. I know, again, back to the house that we had in Deltona, we were charging, X amount of dollars for the last 6-7 years before this big boom happened, and we are literally getting double that right now, which is crazy. And the only reason why we're getting double it now is because the previous renter left, and we reevaluated the house, and now we're getting double for the house. I know. Baller, right? Give them a damn AC. Give them a dishwasher machine. Give them whatever they want. They're paying double. Yeah. Sign of the times, right? Now, some of the times right now that we are all getting pissed off about, and we're all just about had enough of, is robocalls. With the recent deluge of robocalls we have had to weather as a condition of us. The recent deluge of robocalls that we have had to weather as conditioned to us to dread our smartphones is actually functioning and as intended. It's not that we've come to fear the phone ringing, because we know in our hearts it isn't a call coming from a friend or any kind of loved one, because they would text us or do something a little bit similar. But instead, it's a call from a far-off villain using text-to-speak to try to convince us that our car warranty has expired. American phones were bombarded with over 50 billion robocalls in 2021 as the scourge has become a top priority at the FCC. The number of one complaint it receives from the customer. So there you go. There are few culprits to blame for the winding up of this mess. Unfortunately, there are a handful of things you can do to lessen the frequency of spam calls reaching your phone number. One of the people that they blame is this gentleman right here, the FCC chairman, Ajita Pai. He is only one small piece of the puzzle. He is he was a Trump-appointed one of the social media users pinned the blame on Trump-appointed former FCC chairman Ajita Pai, but he's only one piece of the puzzle. Like so many Americans going through this problem, certain economic systems are partially to blame for the onslaught of spam calls. It's no accident that many forms of robocalls, like those made by telemarketers or debt collectors, are perfectly legal. The Telephone Consumer Protection Act, passed in 1991, helped curb the first wave of spam calls, granted customers the rights to sue phone harassers. No thanks, I don't want to sign up. But in 2016, the Secretary of the U.S. ruling for spokeo, Inc. versus Robbins sided with the business and determined that the plaintiff has to demonstrate injury beyond being annoyed and taking the robo-dialer to federal court. For scammers, this consumer unfriendly framework pairs wonderfully with the representative unsophisticated caller IDs that technology carries, and it's only just getting around to fixing it now. By using quote-unquote gateway providers, international robocalls can reach U.S. phone networks disguised as a native number. Only one of the spam reports by an annoyed dialer will carry, are the carriers alerted to that it wasn't coming from inside the USA. So what they're saying is how to shut them up. It's not I would be so pissed off. I've said this before. You can have your cell phone tell me that this is a spam call. Why don't they take the extra step and say it's a spam call? Let's not go ahead and push that number to your phone. I've said this before. I blame the technology in our cell phone plans. Oh, but guess what? They have a cure for that. Some phone carriers offer additional layers of spam filtering if you pay a little bit more each month. Sure, AT&T offers a Call Protection Plus for $3.99 a month, and T-Mobile sells Scam Shield Premium at an extra $4 a month. Now, you're like, well, shit, that should already be included in my goddamn cell phone bill. Now, you can also dial in, or sign up for the Do Not Call registry at the donotcall.gov. And it takes about a month and a half for that to go through, but still, they get around that because there's no way of tracing them down. If you were to punch in the number, hey, this number called me. Have you ever tried to fill out that form? If you get a phone number, a scam number, you punch in the phone number, which is a dummy phone number anyways, that you get like 407. I've got a 407 number. 407-123-45678. Who was the guy on the phone? I don't know. Ahmed. What were they calling about? Extended warranty. Now I guess it's all Medicare or Part A and B or something stupid like that. How much do they, and you fuck that. If I have to do that for every phone call that comes in, I'd be on the computer all day filling out this stupid form. Go ahead, take the extra step by yourself there, phone companies, and get this done. Now there are other apps that you can put on your phone called Hiya, Hiya, Robo. There you go. No Mo Robo. I'll get the words here correctly. Robo Killer and True Caller, but it's roughly the same price as your carrier service, which is about $4 a month. So there's a lot of things you can do in your phone. Don't accept phone calls from anyone that's not in your contacts. You can put those settings up. You can have just unknown phone calls go straight to voicemail, but then you run in the risk. Like I got to wait for my my roofing guy to call me back to fix the roofing inside. He's not in my contact list. I don't call him all the time. I've called him 3, maybe 4 times in the last 16 months. You know, I don't need him in my phone call or my phone database and stuff, but maybe I should put him in there. And so there you go. So we're still going to get him. I do put all the blame on our cell phone companies because they're letting these calls come through. And who knows, they might be getting a kickback underneath the table for these outside phone calls. If they're international phone calls and they're using their line and they have to pay 6-7 cents to attach to their phone line, why? I don't know what's going on here. I don't know. I'm Mr. AT&T. I don't know these phone calls are coming in. Meanwhile, checks are rolling in because they're letting them use that service. How can they hijack a line like that? All right. When we come back, we're going to talk to R&B artist Carriesa with her latest song. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk to Carriesa on the phone. So stick around. You'll listen to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. On the phone with us right now, we have singer, songwriter, and producer Carriesa. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. So I got your song. Was sent to us the other day. I love the song. It's called Radar. Tell me about this song, Radar, and how it came to be.
So Radar was born about almost 3 years ago. I had started working on the song. I had reached out to a producer to help me out with it. He sent me what he had, and I kind of added my, little magic to it, I guess you can say. And then I reached out to another songwriter on the track, and we talked for a bit, and he helped me out with the chorus. I was telling him about the state of mind I was in at that time. I was, in a dark, really, really dark place, depressed, going through a lot. And if you listen to the song, you can kind of hear the dark and emotional undertones of it, and that's where that came from. And just recently, this past year, I just went through another dark time, and I became a mental health advocate this year. So I feel like this song was kind of appropriate to release now, 3 years later. And yeah.
I love your voice in this song. Has anyone compared you to Mary J. Blige? Because you have that deep soul. I mean, you really do. I mean, the point gets across. The levels are there. Have you ever been compared to that before? And it's not a comparison, but you know what I'm saying. Just give people an idea as far as your tone and your style.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I've heard different comparisons of myself to like people like Missy Elliott and Toni Braxton, and all. Just I guess women with deeper tones, I guess vocal tones. But I've never heard Mary J. Blige. That's interesting that you say that. I take that.
That's
very well.
Yeah, that's the first. As soon as I heard your voice and I heard you singing this song, I'm like, that is Mary J. I can hear that where she, the scales are there. As to someone like, Toni Braxton, she's almost there. Missy Elliott, she's a little bit more of a show than a vocalist. You know what I mean?
Right.
So what first got you into the music and the music scene?
Well, I'm a preacher's kid. I've been in music all my life. I started playing piano when I was 4, and I didn't start playing piano in church until I was 9. And everyone in my family can either sing or they play some kind of musical instrument. And we have like a musical background family, so that's really what that's really my foundation in music. I've decided to take it professionally after I graduated from school in 2012, and that's when I really started diving into songwriting and producing.
So your music, how would you describe most of your music in, like, typically, how do you create your music? Where's your inspiration there?
My inspiration is my circumstances and my situations and the adversity that I've dealt with. That's where all of my inspiration comes from. Or if I'm writing for other people, I just empathize. You know, I'm an empath, so it's easy for me to write in someone else's shoes, if that makes sense. But that's where my inspiration comes from. My obstacles, things that I've been through in my life, things that I'm feeling at that moment in time. A lot of times when I write, it's spontaneous. It's like right then and there. I say, "Oh, I gotta write this." I'll type it in my notes or something, or I'll make a quick voice memo. But that's kind of my writing strategy, I guess.
So the words come before the song and the tempo and the underlying tone of the song.
Yeah, the words always come first. I used to write in diaries and stuff. I used to write in poetry, and then I just create melodies later. It's whatever comes to me, and sometimes the melody just comes, and I'll just it hits me spontaneously. Like it's never something I just sit down and try to come up with. It just comes to me, I guess, if that makes sense.
So have any of these tones, like, you know, when you're sitting in the shower, have any of these tones or melodies come to you as you're like sitting in the shower, just kind of humming with the, you know, the cadence of what's going on, the water going on you and stuff? Has that happened to you before?
Yeah. Uh-huh. It's crazy. Like that's where I get most of my ideas from shower or from driving,
because it's so peaceful. It's so peaceful. You're there. It's you. You've got this ominous landscape of sounds behind you, and your mind just kind of unconsciously picks this up, and you're like, and your mind just starts processing that, and then you put words to paper and go on from there. That's the way I write all my songs, because I've got so many songs out there. But I'm just saying. But I understand. I mean, that I see that.
Yeah, your best work is in the shower. Everyone sounds good in the shower.
Everyone does, except for me. My dogs don't like it. So, what are you doing right now? If you weren't doing this music career, now you've got this album that's coming out. Is it a full-length album or is it an EP?
It's gonna be a full-length album.
It's a full-length album. And when's this album coming out? Because I'm anxious. If this song Radar is any representation of what's on this full length, I'm excited to hear it. When is the full-length album coming out?
So Radar is gonna be like the second leg of the process, I guess, of Radar. I'm looking to hopefully get it out in early 2023, hopefully. But as artists, we can get in our own way sometimes. So, I'm hopefully shooting for January or February, hopefully.
Of this coming year?
Of 2023, yes.
Now, there's no record stores anymore.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to ask, it's never polite to ask a woman her age, but there's no record stores anymore. When I grew up, when I grew up, it was when a record came out, you ran down the store, because I think new records came out on Tuesday. Like the new release was on Tuesday, and you'd run down that. Don't say like you don't know this. You don't know this stuff. New records and albums would come out on Tuesday, and you'd run down to the record store and you grab this. Now with internet and stuff like that, how do you feel that the internet has impacted the whole entire music industry? Because so many people are like yourself. You're on Spotify, you're on iHeartRadio, you're on all these different platforms. It's hard to find out, first of all, what your audience is and how many people are actually, congloming onto your idea and your music and your style. How do you think the internet has impacted the music industry in itself?
Well, I think that the internet has progressed the music industry exponentially. Like, I know that you mentioned that it's hard to find your audience. Well, I guess you could say harder to find your audience because of this or whatever it may be. But I feel like that the internet has made it a whole lot easier for artists. Because back in the day, it used to be where artists depended more on record labels, because labels had, the financial, stability and all that stuff to help out the artists. But nowadays, the roles are kind of reversed because everything is so accessible. And artists can utilize the internet in so many different ways, like TikTok, Instagram, Reels, the algorithms, all that stuff. It has made it insanely better for artists, in my opinion.
We're talking to Carriesa, a singer, songwriter, and producer. Carriesa, where are you from? Where's your base location?
I'm from Houston, Texas. I'm from originally a small town called Navasota, Texas. And I moved to College Station, Texas, halfway through my childhood. So, but I just moved to Houston a few years back, and I've been here, and I'm loving it. It's nice out here.
I do have some friends and some relatives out there in the Houston area, and they love it just as well. Now, we were talking about the internet and how you can get the internet has kind of spoiled us, but we can get out to a larger audience. Do you feel that your music out there, you take more advantage of the internet because it reaches a larger audience that would normally not be able to either hear without paying, some kind of nominal fee to listen to your music?
I'm sorry. What's the question?
The question is, the internet helps you reach more people, more audience than, going to the record store and buying an actual CD or something and not knowing anything about it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And it's way cheaper. Yeah, because my music, when I look at the analytics and stuff of my music, having it being played in different countries and being able to reach out to radio DJs and network with other people in the industry across the world is way easier. You don't have to, go through so many adversities.
Exactly. But, so, which famous musicians do you aspire or that you admire the most?
I like Brandy and Toni Braxton. Those are my two favorite vocalists of this time. I think of all time is Ella Fitzgerald. I think she's the greatest vocalist ever.
I agree.
In history. But I love Toni Braxton. I love Brandy. Those are the two people I listen to the most.
Now, whether being on tour or just in your personal everyday life, young or old, doesn't matter. And I say, old like me. What's the most trouble you've ever gotten into that you were never caught doing? I always ask this question because it's one of those, we want to find out what's the dirty side, what's the evil side, or what's the mischievous side of someone.
Well, I'm gonna put it like this. I'm an open book. I've done a lot of things in my life that I had no business doing. I used to be running the streets. I used to be in and out of jail. I used to steal. I used to do a lot of stuff that I had no business doing. And I can really talk all day about that. Honestly, I don't want to go into detail. Right now,
I understand completely. I've been there too. So
it will take a while for me to explain everything, but I've done a lot. I'm not, I'm not ashamed of my mistakes. I put it like that. I think, our mistakes make us who we are.
So do you have any hidden secret talents outside of the music industry and your singing and writing and stuff? Do you have any hidden talents? Are you this crazy martial arts expert, or you know how to balance, or juggle 15, the bowling pins at one time? Do you have any kind of weird thing that's not normal that everyone would be jealous of?
I wouldn't say it's weird. I think the only thing I can think of at the moment is I was and I still am a sports fanatic.
What sport? All sports or just one?
Practically football and basketball. I used to play basketball.
Okay.
School, and I still play for fun every now and then. But that's pretty much the only other talent I had. Basketball, sports, and music was my life.
The Spurs or the Oilers?
Spurs. Spurs.
I'm not dating you with the Oilers, am I? Houston Oilers? No.
I know who you say.
Okay. I don't want to pull that card on you yet, but I mean, so it's the Texans, I guess, is your favorite NFL team?
No, I have to go with the Cowboys.
Okay, well there you go. We have a Cowboy fan in the house.
Okay. Definitely Cowboys all day.
So where can all of our listeners find you?
You can find me on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. It's all the same. It's at Carriesa2. That's CarriesATWO. You can find me on YouTube. Subscribe to me on YouTube. It's Carriesa TV. And you can go to my website, check me out, www.carriesa.com. And don't be afraid to reach out to me. I like to talk to people. I like to talk to the fans. Let me know what you think.
That's one thing that a lot of entertainment artists have. They want that connection with their fans. So you're saying reach out to you with any questions or any comments that you have on your music.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, Carriesa, we're going to let you go. We appreciate you joining us here. Stick around. We have more coming up right after this. Welcome back to DeaconLive. This section is brought to you by medicinaltechnologies.com. Check out their new product called Endo Oil. It helps with the healing of scar tissues and FDA and CGMD compliant as well, soy-free. So check them out at medicinaltechnologies.com. Now, we'd like to hear from you, and the way you do that is go over to Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio, click on the Be Heard section, opens up a little microphone on your tablet, on your device and stuff, wherever you're listening to us at. Speak right in that, comes right to our inbox, and we'll play it on this podcast if you get in quick enough, or the very next podcast as well. You can be anonymous if you want. You can just say, hey, we love the show. We hate the show. What about this? What about that? We'd love to hear from you. And the way you do that is to go to the Be Heard section over at Prophet Radio as well. Now, my wife and I'm getting ready to come up on a big birthday monumental birthday, I guess is what I'm saying. And my wife and I are talking about going over to Europe and figuring out, if we're going to do, 3 days. They've got these package deals. You fly over to Europe and Greece, Rome, Italy, or, all these different countries and stuff. But the only thing I don't care about going over there. Well, I do care a little bit about going over there as far as any kind of like tourists, bombings, terrorists, that type stuff. One of the things is the flight. The flight over there is like 16 hours. Jesus Christ. I have enough problems driving to the store, and that's 30 minutes away. Sitting in the truck, nice comfortable seats in the truck and driving there and driving back. Sometimes you just get ants in your pants. And then, of course, you always see on the news reports some dumbass is on the plane and they have to land the plane somewhere. Well, where are you going to land a plane if some dumbass is running around crazy, beating himself in the head with a piece of chicken breast from their meal? Just more chaos in the air. Well, this picture right here, and don't forget for your podcast, we do have matching video as well, and you can see this video as we're talking about it here on the air. In real time, just go over to prophetradio.com, switch to camera 4. Hi, there we are. So right here, see this photo. Oops, got to go back a couple. This photo shows a passenger plane with the wing covered in duct tape. First of all, no. Second of all, get me out of this plane. There's a kind of viral images that raises eyebrows. Heart races nervously with flyers everywhere. This photo has appeared to show a passenger's wing plane covered in patches of duct tape that has led to a rampart of speculation and jokes about what exactly the adhesive strips are doing there. Well, were they holding the plane together or anything like that? Now, the explanation has been revealed. So if you're seeing this video You can see all the little duct tape patches, well, what they're calling duct tape, all over the wing. So here's what happened. An Australian singer, David Wakeham, you figure it out, shared a widely circulated Snapchat or Snap on Twitter on September 22nd, replying to the post by the airline Qantas. The photos taken from the passenger window showing that he believed that the Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner's wing dotted with silver duct tape. When choosing your favorite airline, choose wisely. Profits before safety, he wrote. So you can see all these square patches and stuff. So let's find out a little bit more about it. As it turns out, the tape was only serving as cosmetic purposes. No, cosmetic means you're making something look more presentable, better. This is an anti-cosmetic purpose. I don't want to see a wing with duct tape on it. So, according to Checkmate, a fact-checking newsletter in Australian Broadcasting Corporation, the tape picture, known as speed tape, is usually and regularly used in aviation industries. In this case, it was applied to cover probably peeling paint. Okay, first of all, let the paint peel. I'm okay with peeling paint. I'm not okay with duct tape on the wing. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind a scratch or two on my airplane. You know, there's ice out there. There's, sand. There's wind. There's elements out there that you would consider, all right, the paint came off. Let's go on with it. But go out there and put some what they call speed tape on it? Not me, bud. It's called speed tape because when it applies, it adheres to the plane's wing, traveling as fast through the air, and explains the points guy. It can also withstand temperatures reaching negative 65 degrees Fahrenheit to 600 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's kind of a range of temperature there. And as a cloth layer covering an aluminum foil with a super strong silicone adhesive, making it thicker than duct tape. So it's bigger duct tape is what it is, I guess. The Boeing 787-9 plane has been identified as being prone to paint adhesion failures due to the Boeing 787-9 planes have been identified as being prone to paint adhesion failures due to the ultraviolet ray damage, according to the 2020 report from the U.S. Department of Transportation Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA. Boeing said that the issue is not compromised for safety. Peeling does not affect the structural integrity of the wing and does not affect the safety of the flight. What it does is, when you put that duct tape on it, makes everyone freak the fuck out. The Australian Civil Aviation Safety Authority, the CASA, also said that the tape repairs pose no risk to the passengers. Any repairs, including the temporary tape repairs, must be made in accordance. Okay, so let's do this. So you put the tape on there to get yourself from, one side of the island at Qantas to the other side of the island, or wherever Qantas flies. There has to be a time limit on there. There has to be some kind of check sheet. When you do your pre-trip, the pilot walks around, kicks the tires and pulls on the wing, make sure it doesn't fall off. All right, speed tape. Hello, mate. How long's this speed tape been on there? Oh, crikey, we put it on there probably about 3 or 4 dingoes ago. All right, 3 or 4 dingoes ago, and we got about one more dingo before we actually have to fix this and do it right. All right, dingoes, go. Shrimp on the barbie, let's go. Foster's beer, right. So there's got to be a time limit on there. You just can't keep putting tape on top of tape on top of tape. They got to fix it at some point. So if you're flying Qantas, watch out. Now, on this side of the aisle, if you're in New York subway, watch out as well. 6 women in neon green leotards attacked 2 women on the New York subway this past Sunday afternoon. The mother of one of the victims told the Post that her daughter told her that she was attacked by quote-unquote aliens, and the mother said, I had no idea what she was talking about. This is how she spent her 19th birthday. I hope they get what they deserve, and some of them because it's disgusting, the mother said. The mother told New York Daily News that her daughter and a friend did nothing to provoke the attack. There was no words exchanged prior. In police footage I have seen, you could see my daughter and her friend were just standing on the platform talking and laughing. They bumped my daughter and her friend and then strong-armed them. Although the teens refused medical attention at the scene, the birthday girl's mother told the Daily News that they were later admitted to the local hospital. The woman said that the daughter had bruises on her shoulder, stomach, and lower extremities. The New York City Police Department public information officer told the Huffington Post the bodysuited clad women escaped the subway and are still on the loose. Detectives are reportedly told the women, or were told that the victim's parents have seen the attackers on social media pages. All right, so for more on this, if you want to see this video, go over to prophetradio.com. Make sure you like and subscribe to us on our YouTube page, and you can see us as well. So here we go. Let's turn this up so we can all hear it and we can all be friends.
Seriously f***ed up. It all went down at a subway station near Times Square around 2 a.m. on Sunday. A group of several women, all dressed in...
So they're standing... These 6 women are standing on the platform dressed in green leotards, all right? So there they are standing there.
Neon green bodysuits are standing around...
And covered head to toe, like they just came off of like a Marvel movie shoot or something where they take the remove the green color and then, everything happens in the background without these people being involved.
Waiting for the subway. Once on board, they start attacking other passengers on the train. One green woman uses her foot to fling a teen into a seat, as behind that, another teen is punched repeatedly by a different person in green.
All right, so I don't think... Hear me out here. I'm calling it now, and we'll find out the stories later on as the updates come in. These 6 women, were dressed in green leotards, okay? So they were probably having a good time. They probably came from something where they were doing green screen or something like that, and they just left the outfits on because that's all they had to wear to go home. I don't know. I don't think the attack was planned out. I think something happened and someone got mouthy or loud with these women and they attacked them, because not all 6 women are attacking. There's 2 prominent dominant women in this video that's attacking these girls. So I don't know if something was said, remarks were made, you bumped me, excuse me. What do you mean, excuse me? Excuse me. And then because they stick out literally like a sore thumb. So I don't think it's like a green gang. I just think something happened on the subway that we're missing. There's part of the story that's not quite there yet.
Green. After the first teen gets back up, a green woman appears to punch her, knocking her back down. The chaos continues as the brawl spills out of the subway car, as the green women appear to continue holding up the train at the station.
Because some of the green women have lost their head coverings, so you can see their face, so it's not like they're doing anything to hide their identity.
To police, the 2 19-year-old girls that were attacked had a cell phone and handbag stolen. And despite all the cell phone footage, nobody's been arrested. This story out of New York...
So there you go. So there's something missing out there. We're not getting the whole story, because these 6 women, the video starts with them sitting on it. Let me switch camera 1 so you can see me in full effect here. They were standing on a platform, just having fun. They were kind of like dancing whatever songs playing on the platform there while they're waiting for the subway. And I say dancing, just kind of holding each other. Maybe it was a bachelorette party. Maybe it was something like that. And they might have had a couple drinks in them. I'm just, speculating out there. And they all got on to... They're all wearing the green suits because they were probably doing some kind of TikTok thing. The one girl said that, yes, I've seen them on, social media pages. So maybe they were doing something in New York, got on the subway after a couple drinks. The one girl probably said, hey, watch out. What do you mean watch out? What do you mean watch out? And they, fisticuffs, and then there you go. So I don't think these 6 women are out there just dressed in green, beating the shit out of people. I think something else was said. All right, guys, stick around when we come back. When's the last time you went fishing? And when's the last time you went fishing for money? Well, I never understood fishing tournaments and how that works, but I'm going to find out how to cheat. And this guy fell into it. Stick around. You'll listen to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Check out medicinaltechnologies.com with their new Endo Oil, an all organic, used for joint pain, inflammation, arthritis pain, whatever you got that ails you. Endo Oil is out there, and you can get it right now at medicinaltechnologies.com. And don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video. You can see me waving to you in the studio. Hi, how are you? And you can see I haven't had a haircut in a while, and I had to like comb my hair down. And my wife's normally I keep it tight and right on the sides. And my wife normally cuts my hair because, we're out in the middle of nowhere. We broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. Population 2,500 people. We sit on about 22 some odd acres. Horses, chicken, cattle, cornfields, tomato fields. We have all that stuff here. We have a ranch, part farm, part ranch. And you can be part of the show at any time. Just go over to Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio. Click on the Be Heard section. It's a little blue bar. Opens up a microphone on whatever device you're listening to us at. And you speak right into it. You can be anonymous. You can ask us any questions. You can say whatever you want. And we'll play it on the very next podcast. Comes right to our inbox and we'll play it. And you can be part of the show as well. And so my wife normally cuts my hair because, like I said, we're out in the middle of nowhere. And I don't care. You guys don't care what my hair looks like. I'm not an office guy anymore. I used to for many years. Used to have to walk into an office and walk into a big studio and have, everyone looking at you and look at you. Your hair has to be perfect and all that stuff. Now I'm just like, my hair's getting long, so I comb it to the side, spray everything down, and I slick it down. And here I am. My wife's like, did you cut your hair? And I'm like, no, I just combed it. She's like, looks good that way. Keep it up. I'm like, yeah, okay. I need it cut, babe. Now, someone that's getting cut right now is, there was a huge thrust of people playing chess because of, what was it, the gambits, the Queen's Gambit, which is an actual chess move in the world of chess. And if it was a Netflix show at the same time, that's where they got the name from. And it was a great show to watch this young prodigy girl learn how to play chess and all the moves and stuff like that. And you would think, all right, how do you cheat at chess? I mean, physically cheat at chess. There's no way, because it's you and someone else across the street from you or across the board from you. Everyone knows all the moves. There's not like you can hide a piece or move a piece or doing something like that. And especially if you're in a tournament, all eyes are on you. Well, with today's technology, there's a lot of tournaments and stuff that are played online. Like you physically are sitting in your house playing online and doing the chessboard. Now, there are programs out there that when I was taking college courses, some college courses, they had them online in the infancy of the internet. And if you were to, as you're taking the test, if you were to come off that screen, like to look up a word, what does that word mean? And you switch screens to look up that word, the test would shut down because it knew exactly how many windows you had on your screen open. Well, this gentleman right here, U.S. chess grandmaster, allegedly cheated over 100 times per this report. The alleged cheating controversy has rocked the chess world, and according to an investigation by chess.com, was revealed on the Wall Street Journal, chess grandmaster Hans Niemann, at the center of the dispute, has an extensive cheating history. I mean, come on, man. I've heard of faking it till you make it, but cheating till you need it or something? I don't know. There's a rhyme there somewhere. The report stated that Niemann likely received illegal assistance over 100 online games. Assistance in over 100 online games. The most recent occurrence allegedly was in 2020. The 72-page report also revealed that Niemann admitted to the allegations in private and was banned from the online platform for a period of time. But it also describes his irregularities with this in-person chess, mentioning many remarkable signs and unusual patterns in Hans' path as a player. So basically, you do the face-to-face, the real, what they call over-the-board chess games, and then you do a lot of online games, and then you work your way up through the rankings. So this guy was like one of the top players, and the way he got there was he was cheating on the online games. Now, granted, he was a good player on the over-the-board games, but the online games is where he excelled and achieved a lot more ratings. Outside his online play, Hans is the fastest rising top player in the classical over-the-board chess in modern history. Looking purely at rating, Hans should be classified as a member of his group as the top youngest player. as a top young player. While we don't doubt that Hans is a talented player, we also note that his results of statistically extraordinary. According to a letter from chess.com, Chief Chess Officer Danny Wrench to Neiman, the chess star's suspicious moves allegedly occurred during the times when detected another window was open on his laptop. We are prepared to present strong statistical evidence and confirm that each of those cases above, as well as clear toggling and non-toggling evidence, were performed much better. He performed much better while toggling between the different screens during your moves. Your move, Neiman. Your rebuttal. So anyways, how do you cheat though? I mean, if you toggle in between screens, there's only like 4 or 5 different, I don't know. How do you cheat at chess? Well, this guy was cheating at chess. I guess he had another screen that was going through all the motions as far as, option 1, this. Option 2, this. Option 3, that's why they put times on them. They put all the timers on them, and you click the little thing, the little wooden box, you hit the little nipple on top, and it pops up on the other guy. Do you do that on the other side too when you're doing online games? I don't know. But he got caught cheating, or they say he was cheating. We'll find out what happens later on. Back to you, Phil. Now, my dad's brother, my uncle, has been an avid fisherman freshwater. Now, I was born and raised in Orlando, Florida. We have over 1,000 some odd lakes that are more than an acre, if not an acre, a square mile big. Large. We've got a lot of lakes out there. You ever looked at Florida from the air? There's a lot of water in between all that land, all in between all those houses. And they're finding that out right now, unfortunately. But in Ohio, during a fishing tournament this past week, 2 alleged cheaters face a maximum penalty as a result of cheating in a scandal that was rocked by the competitive fishing world. I got the camera on way, so I'm bouncing around here. I just hope to get they get everything that what's coming to them. So what happened is these 2 fishermen who have won numerous competitions were suspected of cheating. And so I guess they take like the largest fish. You go out there and fish all day. You keep the largest ones you got, all day long. They have to have a certain weight to them or whatever, certain length. I think they have to be, I don't know, sometimes they say they have to be alive. I don't know the rules. I'm making this up in my head. How do you do fishing tournaments? But these guys got caught cheating. And you're like going, well, how did they get caught cheating? Well, for more on this, you can watch this video in real time as we're talking about it here on the show. So here we go. So more on this story. CNN's got the actual, the guy who actually won and was calling the guys out for cheating. So here we go.
Was part of the competition that day. He was there for that moment. Steve and his teammate, Brian Ulmer, ended up winning Team of the Year honors after those 2 allegedly cheating fishermen were disqualified. Steve, thank you so much. First off, congratulations. That's a big honor to be Team of the Year. But just tell us about this moment as you witnessed these lead balls being pulled from these fish. What was that like?
Oh, it was a crazy weekend. We had they came up and they had their fish out in the tank, and they were getting ready to come up, and they picked up a fish that should have weighed about 4 pounds, and they set it on the scale and it said 8, and then they put the rest of their 5 in, and it came up to 35. So everybody was going nuts, as you can see in the video, and it was very obvious this time that they weren't going to get away with that. So it's a shame that had to happen, and I'm just glad that they got caught, and it's been a long time coming. So
a long time coming. You said you've suspected this in previous competitions. One of the things we've learned is that there are actually polygraphs in some of the larger competitions, and one of these competitors failed a polygraph in a previous one, which cost them. You've suspected this, you and others.
So you can see what they pulled out of the fish. And if you were a fisherman, the little egg weights, they had like 3 or 4 ounce egg weights in, like, shoved them down the fish's mouth. And they also had pieces of, they had like cut up not fillets, but pieces of another fish and shoved it down in there to kind of hide it. So when you look down in the fish, you see nothing but, fish meat and stuff. And then you wouldn't see the weights. Come on, man. If you see a lead weight. First of all, those lead weights are about the size of a golf ball, the ones that they pulled out. Maybe a little bit smaller than a golf ball, but still. And you take a fish and you pick that thing up and you're like, holy Jesus, you know, I didn't think this thing was that heavy. And you take your hand and rub it on the top of the fish. What is this fish got like 3 tumors in its belly? They're hard as a rock. And that's what they pulled out. I don't know how they were expecting to get away with this. I can understand doing... First of all, I don't condone cheating of any sorts. But if I was going to cheat, I would cut up other pieces of fish and shove it down the fish's mouth so it looks like just all meat down in there. These guys were dumb and put fish weights in there.
People had good ideas and thoughts about it, but like anything, you know, you want to give people the benefit of the doubt. But, you know, when you fail one and pass one and there's different things and they blow everybody out of the water by 5, 6, 7, 8 pounds every time, and just, you know, some shady stuff going on. So they've been investigated. They've done the polygraphs. You know, Jason Fisher's done a great job trying to do polygraphs and testing and asking questions and doing everything he can do to keep it legit. But they got it this time. So
the first thing I would do, that was me, if I'm the judge at a fish weighing in contest, first of all, after the contest, big fish fry. You know, everyone's invited, because, you know, you'd hate for these fish to die in vain. So you fillet up all the fish. Hey, wait a minute. What's going on here? There's weights in this fish. Now, I actually have the video. If you want to see the actual video when they got caught, the guy was literally just standing there and taking it. So if you want to see this video, make sure you go over to YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe to us over there as well at the DeaconLive podcast. And you can see this video in real time as we're talking about it here on the show. So here we go. Here's the video of them actually getting caught with the judge. And they're like, and he was pissed. The judge was pissed. And then the guy who was doing it just physically stood there and took it. So here we go, right here. There we go.
I want you to leave. I don't want anybody to touch these guys. I want you to leave. Please go to jail.
He needs to go to jail.
Of events at an Ohio fishing tournament.
So look at all the egg weights in there. And they're literally just ripping the fish's guts open and pulling all these weights out.
It was revealed that the winning group had allegedly stuffed their catches full of weights. They would have received almost $29,000 had they won.
$29,000.
The director of this Ohio fishing tournament told CNN that
that's him. That's the guy who cheated.
When the fish weighed double what he expected them to. He said, quote, "I physically felt the fish. I could feel hard objects inside the fish."
Yeah, there's hard objects in the fish.
People continued to yell at the group that was caught cheating.
Listen to the audience. They're ready to tar and feather him. They're ready to take him to the edge of town and hang him. He cuts right into the fish, opens them up, pulls out weights and stuff. So there you go. Cheaters never win and winners never cheat. Is that the slogan that you're supposed to say? Something like that? All right, guys, stick around. We got a couple more little things to talk about, and we'll let you get back to doing what you got to do. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you go over to medicinaltechnologies.com with their new product, Endo Oil, that helps with scar tissue and also fibromyalgia, which is hard for me to say for some reason. That's Endo Oil. Check them out at medicinaltechnologies.com. And if you'd like to be a part of the show, we'd love for you to be part of the show. We'd love to hear from you as well. Go over to prophetradio.com, click on the Be Heard sections, little blue bar, opens up a microphone. Yes, you can talk right into your phone, your tablet. Make sure you let the thing access your microphone. I'm not going to do anything. I just want to hear your voice. I just want you to be part of the show. I want you to say, hey, we're listening to you out there in 55 countries that we're broadcasting on. And I found out something the other day. I had a little problem with one of the, not a problem. Over in the UK, I guess, in some areas, they don't allow iHeartRadio. So if you're in the UK, you're listening to us on iTunes, Spotify, I think Stitcher's out there, Deezer, someone out there. So for some reason, iHeartRadio doesn't reach the UK in some areas. They might have a band over there. Communist. And so now, in the entertainment report that you did not need to know, Paris Hilton is still reeling over the fact of her pooch that she's lost called Diamond Baby. Do you remember Paris Hilton? You know, did the whole, what was the Hard Life or something with, Shit, what was her name? Nicole Richie. Thank you. My producer over there. Thank you. Nicole Richie. He wrote it on a chalkboard and showed it up to her. Anyways, Diamond Baby is, of course, Paris Hilton's new little pooch, little chihuahua, little toy dog, is still missing. But some people say that there's hope because she is assured by pet psychics that DB is still alive. So here we go. For more information, for more on this, let's go to the video to find out what Paris Hilton actually says on this.
So heartbroken and devastated.
So heartbroken.
I mean, I saw you said, like, you talked to some mediums and they said, like, Diamond Baby's still out there. What was that like? What was that interaction like?
Just making it look really credible.
First of all, Paris Hilton is walking through, I don't know what airport this is. It's empty and there's no paparazzis. There's nothing. She's lost her stardom, her fame, or anything like that. She's walking right through. This guy behind her, this old guy going through his wallet trying to find his ID, has no idea who's walking by, how much money's walking by him right now.
Mediums and pet communicators who have solved cases and found animals.
Yeah.
They all say that she's alive and that someone has her and that she's safe. So that's why I'm just trying to raise as much awareness if someone's seen her walking on the streets, anything. Like, I've been dying without my dog. It's been almost 3 weeks.
People, if you see Diamond Baby.
If you see Diamond Baby, please. On my Instagram, there's the email to email. It's finddiamondbaby@gmail.com.
I saw something.
Find diamondbaby@gmail.com. As she's walking through, I don't know what airport this is, but a psychic said that she's still out there and someone has her.
About, like, you couldn't even, like, raise the reward because the experts told you it would create, like, a worse situation with dog nappers.
Yeah, they said I was going to raise it to, like, a crazy number, and they said don't do that. It's too dangerous.
Yeah.
It's just going to make you a target. People will try and kidnap your dogs or maybe break into your house. So, yeah, I'm just trying to do whatever I can, but I believe she's still alive.
Hey, any message? If somebody has this dog right now, any message? Talk right to him.
Please give me back my baby. She's my everything, and a part of me is gone, and I need her back.
We love you, P.
Thank you.
Okay, keep your head up. Stay strong. Okay.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Hey,
bye.
Hey, miracles happen all the time, all right?
So, you know, I don't know if you ever watched the Better Life or whatever it was called, and she had this whole glitzy, I'm a valley girl type thing, and that was Paris Hilton, and her tone, her canter is totally different. So it was all made up. It was all made up for the show. That's hot. That's hot. Oh my God, this is hot. This is hot. This is tough. This is hot. But now, I mean, she's taken on this role because she is the heir to the Hilton Academy, the Hilton Hotel, so she has to be somewhat presentable as far as, you know, she's going to take over and do board meetings. She can't be that same ditzy blonde that was on that show. The Real Life. Was it The Real Life? Hold on. Let me clarify this. Paris Hilton show. The Simple Life. Sorry, I totally bombarded that whole thing. I bogarted that whole thing. Simple Life. All right, so there you go. Now, are you ready for this? Everyone's going to throw their phones down on the ground and stomp on them, or they're going to raise me up in a praise of joy. Are you team candy corn or not? I am team candy corn. I like candy corn only because as a kid growing up, I never was really allowed to have a lot of sweets and everything. Oh, yeah, sure. I could get like the trick-or-treat stuff, but my mom and dad, me not knowing as a kid, my mom and dad, mostly my mom, would go through the candy, get all the shit that she liked, and I got stuck with like Good and Plenty's, Twizzlers, I don't know, the crap that sucked. And candy corn was one of the things that my mom did not want out of my trick-or-treat bag. So I used to like candy corn because it had flavor compared to all the other shit that she left me. But for some, it's just a name of candy that makes them salivate. Others recoil in a reemergence of the Halloween treat. For many, candy corn represents the season's is the reason for the season. Most of 9 billion kernels and more than 3 million pounds are produced annually. According to the past pronouncements, at the National Confections Association. They're eaten all around Halloween. Like everything else, candy corn will most likely cost more than it would normally in the past. For instance, Brock's candy corn at Walmart was priced about 4.7% higher than last year. However, the price increase is lower for Hershey's milk chocolate bars, increasing by only 15%, and Reese's king size, and Reese's king size peanut butter cups up to 14% is what they found. Higher prices won't likely deter those who love candy corn, but will fall on a sword for my candy corn, exclaimed one business development person, Guru Kaplan. So here's the things that you didn't know about candy corn. First of all, when it was produced, the Golitz Confection Company manufactured, I probably did this last Halloween and the Halloween before, manufactured and distributed the candy corn under the name of Chicken Feed in 1898. That's a long time. 1898. Candy corn's been around. Oops, what's it saying? I can't see it. There is a right way and a wrong way to eat candy corn, by the way. When I eat it, I eat the white part. I eat row at a time. I don't shove the whole thing in my mouth. I literally do. I'll eat the white part, eat that part off, then eat the orange part, eat that part off, and then eat the yellow part. And the yellow part, not for nothing, tastes totally different than the orange part. It's not a taste. I take that back. It's not a taste. It is a consistency. There's a different consistency on the yellow part than the orange part. I know people are burning their phones and stabbing their eyes out because of this, or stabbing their ears out listening to this. A National Confectioners Association took a survey in 2013 and said that 42% of people eat the whole piece at once. You animals. You guys are animals. Starting with the white end first. Oh, my God. Candy corn actually can be deep fried. They make deep fried candy corn balls, which is American favorite in most. Let's see. It's so if you want to try it, it's called Oh Bite It on her food blog, on this lady's food blog. You can figure out a way to make deep fried candy corn. To me, that just sounds like hot lava, because all it is sugar, sucrose, and then like a flour or something on the outside. Ooh. You want to talk about burn marks on your face. There is candy corn beer that's out there. A Wellington Brewing Company in Wisconsin serves up candy corn ale beer, claims that it's not overly sweet and very, very well balanced. One serving of candy corn contains more sugar than you'd think it would have. 19 pieces, oh God, here we go. This is why I'm not going to eat it anymore. 19 pieces adds up to 28 grams of sugar, which is comparable to an entire can of Coke. 19 pieces of candy corn? Well, yeah, it's all sucrose and stuff, and so on and so forth. So there you go. I am team candy corn. I don't know if you are, but I like to eat the white part, sit there and eat that little piece, and then eat the orange part, munch on that piece, and then eat the yellow part, which has a different consistency. That's the way I eat it. Now, one more thing before I let you go. Horrordle, remember those guys? They were bought out by the, I think it was the New York Times or somewhere like that. And so the guy made a couple $1 million. He's like, fine, take it. You can do what you want with it. And then all these different spin-off versions have come out of that. Now, this Halloween, for all you Halloweeners out there, there is a new game based on Halloween. There's a lot of copycats out there that are spurring because of the Horrordle game. There's Framed, where you have 6 movie titles and you have to guess you have 6 movie stills, like Framed, and you have to guess the movie film. There's also Horrordle, guess the song in a short clip that you have out there. They play a short little clip and you got to figure out what that song is. And then there's also, for the horror nerds, Horrordle. Have fun trying saying that out loud. Thank you very much. Horrordle, Horrordle, Horrordle. Horrordle. I'm going to say Horrordle is the brainchild of Reddit user Go Civic Eye. Has a similar concept as Frame. You're presented with 3 frames and you have to guess what horror movie it is that day. What sets this Wordle lookalike apart, however, is the survivor bonus round where you can identify the movie's surviving characters out of the 3 options. Well, that's kind of cool. This site started on October 1st in honor of the high holy spooky season. I know there's horror fans out there that love trivia, proving their niche in the horror knowledge. So this is a perfect sample and a perfect time to play the game and share this month. According to the developer, it's a Wordle spinoff, is running until the end of the month. So you only have 30 days. So this is October 5th. So you only got 26 days left. So if you love the idea, please give it a try and try to share with all your horror-loving friends. Perhaps you will get, with enough interest, it'll be available year-round or some kind of spin-off off of that. That's Horrordle, Horrordle. All right, guys, on that note, I'm going to let you get back to what you got to do. Make sure you like and subscribe us on your Facebook feed, on your Twitter feed. Make sure you go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET. Get yourself some free stuff over there, and we'd like to hear from you. Fill out that little form there. I'm sorry, there's no form there. Make sure you click on the Be Heard section. We'd love to hear from you. And leave a message. Comes right to our inbox. We'll play it on the very next podcast. You can be part of the show at any given time. And make sure you get yourself some free stuff while you're over there as well. On that note, guys, we're going to let you get back to what you got to do. I'm going to let you get back to what you got to do. My name is the Deacon saying good night and good night. Good night.
Wait. Come back.
Sweet prince.
This is the end. The absolute end.
Écoute-moi.
Ah.